What's going on, everyone? Today is a big day for the Sixers and Doc Rivers because today we decide if the Philadelphia 76ers can finally close this Toronto Raptors out or if we're going to a Game 7 back in Philadelphia. Now, only like 4 or 5 teams have ever forced a Game 7 being down 0-3, and I think the Raptors, if anyone could come back, it is definitely the Toronto Raptors with Nick Nurse and their size, their youth, their belief of like, we can do this, we can conquer the giant, especially Joel Embiid. His fingers hurt. James Harden doesn't seem to be the same James Harden that we are accustomed to, although he's always kind of been lackluster in the playoffs. And any coach that would blow a lead like this, it would be Doc Rivers, right? I mean, we have seen it countless times with that kind of stuff. Doc Rivers has the history of blowing these 3-1 leads, right? He has more than any other coach in history. And I have never been high on Doc Rivers. I even have a video on this channel diving into it's not that I don't dislike Doc Rivers. It's not that I don't think he's an okay coach. I just don't believe the hype. And I don't understand why so many people think he is just this phenomenal coach. He is so well respected in the league and so thought of as this just historic, legendary head coach and this hot commodity that teams would literally give up draft picks for and all these things. And it's like, what has he proven? What has he done? Besides blow 3-1 leads in Orlando, the Clippers, he might blow a 3-0 lead here in Philadelphia, which would be the first time ever in history. And you can already see the pressure mounting on him. He's already getting defensive. He's coming up with excuses. He's talking about this. Oh, well, Orlando, we were the ace seed. And, we were playing the Detroit Pistons, who ended up being the champions. Yeah, but guess what? You still only needed to win one game. And you know what you didn't do? You didn't make adjustments. You didn't make changes. You didn't do the things that you've always done. And that's the problem. I have seen Doc Rivers get outcoached by far less superior coaches for certain. Like coaches I even think are far less superior than Doc Rivers and just get blatantly outcoached. Doc Rivers doesn't really make adjustments. I get he's a player's coach. It is great to have Doc Rivers as a player's coach, but that's what the assistant guy's for. That's what the third coach is for. That's not what your head coach is for. Your head coach is supposed to make the game plans, make adjustments, make changes. Halftime comes up. All right, we need to get a spark. Hey, you get in there. Let's make it happen. Like, you need a coach that isn't afraid to make adjustments, make changes. He just kind of like, all right, well, you guys are the players, get out there and do it and let's make it happen. Because what else is he doing? He's not making changes. He's not making adjustments. He's not fixing this mess, and he's proven it time and time again. The only time he's ever had success was with a Celtics team that never needed a coach to begin with. You didn't need a coach with Rajon Rondo, Paul Pierce, Kevin Garnett, and Ray Allen, not to mention Kendrick Perkins, Eddie House, guys that were coaches, player coaches, like you didn't need him to be successful. You could have anybody be the coach. It's like the big question with the Warriors. Like, look at Luke Walton. Luke Walton went like 33-3 with the Warriors team, and then he's gotten fired everywhere else he's gone because people realize he's not a good coach. He just was on a team that didn't really need a coach, that could have won with anybody. Steve Kerr came in, implemented a system, they ran the system, great, they're good to go. I mean, Doc Rivers didn't need a system with that Celtics team. They were fine, they were great, and they still underwhelmed. They still only won one championship in like a 5-year span that they just dominated, right? I mean, even the Lakers, and I'm a Lakers fan, I've said this on several occasions, I am a diehard Laker fan. We should not have won 2 championships during that time. That Celtics team was far more stacked than we are. They should have beaten us in 2010 again. And they did it because Doc Rivers doesn't make changes or adjustments. He goes, okay, we'll just keep doing the same thing over and over again. Other teams figure it out, and there you go. And the Sixers don't have a ton of depth. They got rid of that for the James Harden trade. But you could do things, call timeouts, start a different guy, have Maxey come off the bench if you need to, whatever, I don't know, do some changes, have Harden come off the bench, whatever you need to do something, but you got to do something. You can't just keep losing these 3-1 leads. And if he loses this 3-0 lead, seriously, he might never coach in the NBA again because he's already got that stigma behind him. People are already starting to question him. People are already starting to look and go, hey, maybe you're not the coach we always thought you were. He has had nothing but historically great teams. That Clippers team was the best team in the league for like 4 straight years and didn't even make it to the Western Conference Finals. We're not even talking about the NBA Finals. We're just talking about making it out of the second round. He blew a 3-1 lead with that team and then blamed it on Chris Paul wasn't there. Like, okay, you still had 7 or 8 guys that were stars. Like, what are you talking about? Like, Chris Paul, don't get me wrong, Chris Paul was phenomenal, especially on that team. He was the orchestrator. He was everything. He was in his prime. Absolutely, that was a big hit. But not in a 3-1 lead when you have everybody else that you have. J.J. Redick, Matt Barnes, you have DeAndre Jordan, Blake Griffin, all in like when they were putting up crazy numbers. I mean, you had a team to get it done. You just didn't make the changes. You didn't make the adjustments. You were just careless and reckless. One of those games, they had like a 12-point lead with like a minute and a half left or something like that and still lost. Like, come on, there's no excuses. All the excuses he made were just that, excuses. Like, if you really go look back, like he says, oh, go look back at the Orlando roster. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, okay, yeah, you want your cookie because you took them to the playoffs in a terrible Eastern Conference team where anybody could have made the playoffs. Like, so, okay, yeah, here's your cookie. We'll give you the cookie for you making it to the playoffs. And then you got a 3-1 lead. Yes, that is great. You did a great job, right? So you want the credit for that, but you don't want the credit for losing the lead. Like, it makes no sense. Like, you want praise because you even got them to that point, but it's like, but you don't want to take the downside and criticism because you failed to deliver. It's just, it makes no logical sense. But by the time you're watching this video, the game should just be starting. So again, let me know what you think down in the comments below whenever you see this, whether you see it before the game, after the game, during the game, whatever. I would love to hear your thoughts on this whole Doc Rivers mess and what is going on with the 76ers. I don't think Doc Rivers is a terrible coach. I don't think he's a bad coach. I think he is a coach that is just average. I just think he's built this reputation, and kudos to him. He has built this reputation amongst the league of being this guy that is just, so well respected, which is wonderful. I love that. But, at some point we gotta look at people for what their history and track record shows. Just because I like you, this is a business. I love you. I like you. You're awesome. You're great. But you're not the coach. It's been proven time and time again. And the only reason he has the success he has is because of the historically great teams he's in. He had a Celtics team that was in the Eastern Conference or the Finals every year for like 5 straight years. He was on a Clippers team. That same thing. They made it to, they didn't make it to the Finals or the East or the Western Finals, but they were in the first and second round every year for like 5-6 straight years. So of course you're gonna rack up points, and you were never sweeping people, so you have more games to play. Things like that. It's just like it makes no sense. Like, when you look at the full scope of his coaching career, he's always had teams that coaches would dream to have coached and always underperformed. And that's my big problem. I don't know Doc Rivers personally, so this isn't anything about him personally. He could be the greatest guy in the world, but his track record shows he's a mediocre coach. He's not a great coach like his perception and his legend says he is. But that being said, again, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. If you like this video, hit that like button. Helps me out a lot. Lets me know you enjoy these types of videos, and I truly appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button, followed by the bell notifications. See you all in the next one.